Flag football is a sport in its own right. Not a watered down version of tackle, not just a backyard game with your cousins. It's technical, it's fast, and it demands precision, IQ, and pure athleticism. If you know, you know. Guys like Daryl Hoosh Doucette, Jared Elmore, they aren't just dominating highlight reels. They've become global ambassadors for a sport that, for years, had to fight for every ounce of legitimacy. So when the Olympic Committee announced that flag football would be included in the 2028 Los Angeles Games, it felt like the sport had finally earned its stripes. After decades in the shadows, flag was about to take its rightful place on the world stage. But something shifted. The spotlight didn't stay on the players who built the game. It didn't stay on the ones that had been traveling overseas, winning world championships, playing for the love and not the lights. Instead, all eyes turned to the NFL, to its players, to its brands, to the billion-dollar machine, wondering, could Tyreek Hill suit up for Team USA? What about Justin Jefferson? Would Travis Kelce torch the world in shorts and a headband? At first, it was just fan speculation, a wild idea for the barbershop or the podcast roundtable. But then the headline hit. NFL owners unanimously approve NFL players to participate in Olympic flag football. Just like that, the what if became when. And while fans cheered at the idea of seeing all pros flying around in Olympic settings, a deeper truth set in. You see, flag football in the Olympics was originally supposed to be a win for the flag football community. The lifers, the weekend warriors, the men and women who grew this game from pickup to podium. But instead, the NFL is stealing Olympic flag football from the man who built it. Here's what we know from the NFL. A maximum of one player from each NFL team will be allowed to participate. So this tells you right there, this is not some free fall. They're not just going to allow everyone to just bum rush this sport. One guy per team. Then next it says among the provisions are injury protection and salary cap credit should a player get injured while engaged in flag football activities. So this here is self-explanatory. It's basically saying that the shield is protecting its assets. This is about protecting billion-dollar investments. The NFL is essentially saying to all the players, you can go play, but if anything goes sideways, we're covered, you're covered, and the cap is protected. Also, it says the Olympic flag football schedule must also not unreasonably conflict with the players' NFL commitments. So, once again, that's the shield putting the hammer down saying the shield comes first. You can play in the Olympics, but only if it doesn't interfere with your real job, which is why some players are already saying that they're not going to participate in LA 28 because it doesn't work for them. They're going to be at training camp. They're committed to the real job, and rightfully so. The real job is about chasing Lombardi trophies, not about chasing Olympic gold. Lastly, there will be 60 total men's flag football players at the LA Games, 10 for each of the 6 teams. And that's a very small pool. We're talking about the elite of the elite. So if you're imagining some Madden all-star team, pump the brakes, because this is not what that is. Okay. This is going to be a curated cast. Basically. It's not a meritocracy. Now, there's one thing that you need to understand before we go any further. The NFL isn't just doing this to give its players a shot at Olympic glory. This isn't just about legacy. This isn't just about the purity of the sport. And it damn sure isn't about leveling the global playing field. This is about power, ownership, and control. The NFL saw the rise of flag football, and with the Olympic stamp of approval, they immediately said, we're going to dominate that too. They didn't blink. They saw a new lane open in the global sports marketplace, and instead of staying in their lane, they merged aggressively. So now the NFL is in the Olympic orbit. Now, how does this affect the man who actually built the sport? While the spotlight's on the NFL superstars potentially suiting up in the red, white, and blue, it raises a deeper and less glamorous question. What happens to the guys who have been living and breathing flag football long before it got Olympic headlines? The guys who actually chose this version of the sport when there was no camera, no clout, no money. The guys who have already been representing Team USA on an international stage. For them, this isn't novelty. It's the main event. And now that the Olympics are involved, we're seeing the same age-old narrative play itself out. The mainstream sees value in something, and suddenly the originators get pushed to the back. Some people that come to mind are Daryl Doucette, who already voiced his displeasure in NFL players basically stealing the moment from these guys. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically said that he thinks that it's disrespectful that they automatically assume that they're going to represent the USA. In all honesty, he's not wrong. It's like watching your favorite underground rapper finally break into the mainstream, but the label gives their big debut to a pop star instead. You did the work, you stayed loyal, but the spotlight passes you by because someone more famous just entered the room. And that feeling isn't just frustration, it's betrayal. For guys like Doucette, who helped put flag football on the map competitively, this should be the culmination of their work. Instead, it's turning into a moment that might never truly be theirs. These aren't rec league dads who stumble into a local tournament. These are professionals in every sense of the word. Some with international accolades, some who've coached and played on elite circuits across multiple continents. They know the pace, the spacing, the rules, the strategy that comes with the flag format. They've dedicated years to getting great at this. And I'm torn because as an NFL fan, I think it'll be cool as hell to see Justin Jefferson mossing someone from Germany. You want to see that. You want to see Tyreek Hill burn someone from Belgium for 60 yards. But on the flip side, you've got to ask, at what cost? It's the classic question. Are we chasing a moment or are we building something meaningful? Because those true flag footballers are the foundation. They've been holding this thing up long before it was cool. And it feels foul to sideline them just when the world starts to finally watch. This is their moment and chance to be recognized globally. Y'all know how we watch the Olympics, man. We learn about new athletes, follow their stories, and get to root for them and their success. And this is the only time to do so, which is working out perfectly for the women's team. There is no one to take the spotlight off of them. Like the men, they've been putting in the work, grinding, and now they're getting their shine. The NFL is even propping them up and bringing them into their ecosystem. The women of flag football are becoming NFL correspondents, getting featured in commercials. The NFL actually posts their highlights while the men's team gets pushed to the shadows and overlooked. I'd be pissed. Now, another thing that they could end up doing is having a hybrid team. That could work. It could be a middle ground. It sounds fair on paper. You get the best of both worlds, star power and integrity. But the question becomes, will the flag guys get real roles or are they just going to be used as tokens to say, look, we included you? Will they actually see the field in meaningful moments? Or will they be background characters while the NFL guys run the show? That's where things can go sideways quick. Tokenism, disguised as inclusion, is just disrespecting the suit. But ultimately, if I'm being fair, I think this is wrong. I mean, these original flag football players, they chose this sport, and say what you want, it's a different sport. Flag football is not just football without pass, it's a different animal altogether. It takes years to get that rhythm, that instinct. Plugging in NFL guys and expecting them to dominate is not only disrespectful, it's short-sighted. It assumes one version of football is superior to another, when in reality, they're just different, like the difference between sprinting and hurling. Both are fast. One just has obstacles and the other one doesn't. But they're not interchangeable. And let's not act like the current guys who do this for real are slouches. The men's national team, they won 6 of the last 7 world championships. The U.S. didn't just compete, they dominated, beating other nations by 30-point margins, all without a single NFL player in sight. That's not an accident. That's elite talent. So, if the worry is whether the U.S. can win gold without NFL players, we already know the answer. They've been doing it. So what exactly are we trying to fix by bringing the NFL in? The highlight reel? The TV ratings? This is tricky because I have a million reasons why I don't like the idea of overlooking these guys. This whole thing is a minefield. Every angle you look at it from, there's a new wrinkle. Morally, competitively, politically. It's layered. And as cool as it would be to see the NFL stamp the Olympic stage, we have to ask what it means long term for the players who gave flag football its soul. Are we honoring the game or are we turning it into a branding opportunity? As a country, how does it look to everyday folk when you see a group who has already established roots and foundations in the thing get overlooked for the popular kids? That's the core of it. It's the metaphor for everything. The people who build something with love and consistency often get pushed aside the minute there's a big check or media moment. It plays out in music, in business, in tech, and now we're seeing it in sports. America loves the shiny object, and NFL players, they're the shiniest in the room. But that doesn't mean they belong in every room. And the crazy thing is, it could backfire, which brings me to my next point. We know the NFL is home to the best football players in the world, but what caliber of players are actually going to represent the U.S. in flag football? Are we talking about top tier stars like Justin Jefferson, or will it be fringe roster guys looking for a shine? Will there be tryouts? What happens if multiple players from the same team want in? Do they vote? There are a lot of unanswered questions here, but one thing is clear. This competition is not going to be a cakewalk. Let's go back to the U.S. World Championship dominance that I mentioned. 2014, 2016, 2018, 2021, 2024. But what about the years that they didn't win? Austria took home gold in 2012. Mexico and Denmark have been finalists. Even Germany made some noise if you go back far enough. So let's not pretend like other countries can't ball. What would be wild and straight up embarrassing is if the U.S. scraps its national flag football team in favor of NFL players and they still lose. That's not far-fetched. NFL players might have elite athleticism, but they don't have the same reps, instincts, or technical know-how that dedicated flag football athletes have built over years. Because let's keep it real. When you watch a real flag football game compared to the Pro Bowl games, it's night and day. The real flag football scene is intense and things get chippy. These guys are in it to win it. Yes, still having fun, but the bar of competition is high, whereas the NFL's version from the Pro Bowl is more tongue-in-cheek and something we would see people playing in the backyard or at a family barbecue. They're laughing, being silly, and it's just naive to think that they're going to flip the switch. Let's remember, these are different sports. Flag and tackle are not the same. And I say this from experience. I played flag. It's not something that you just show up and dominate because you're fast or you're strong. Flag pulling, avoiding flag pulls, spacing, ball movement, it's a real craft. So yeah, the entertainment value might go up if fans get to see their NFL stars in action, but are we even putting the team in the best position to win? But let's look ahead to the future. Are we about to see an official NFL flag football division pop up? Sounds wild, but is it really that far-fetched? Think about the trajectory. The NFL has spent the last decade talking about safety. They've overhauled rules, changed kickoff formats, updated concussion protocols, and introduced all kinds of gear meant to protect the players. Take those hideous Guardian caps, those bubble-looking pads on helmets. First, they showed up in training camp, then in regular season practices, and now you're seeing them during the games, in full-speed, nationally televised games. That's the league telling us, without saying it outright, that the old NFL is dying. The violent, head-rattling, knock your block off version is fading. And whether you like it or not, that opens the door to alternatives. Because if you can't hit, can't land on a QB, can't touch receivers past 5 yards, and now you've got players running around looking like they're in a Nerf commercial, what are we really playing? So here's the big question. Do we ever fully move away from contact? I get it. That's a radical thought. But zoom out. Look at the big picture. The NFL isn't just evolving for safety. It's expanding for reach. Roger Goodell has made it crystal clear that the league wants global supremacy. That's why we've already got these games in London, Germany, and soon Madrid and Brazil. The long-term goal isn't just about dominating America. It's about making the NFL a truly international product. And here's the thing. Most of the world doesn't have a football background. But flag football, that's accessible. That's scalable. That's a version of the sport the world can actually adopt. So what happens if the Olympic flag football experiment booms? What if kids all over the globe start picking up flags instead of shoulder pads? What if youth leagues, schools, and sponsors begin to favor a game that's just as fast and skilled, but way safer, cheaper, and more inclusive? That's not just speculation. That's a pipeline. And if that pipeline gets built, the NFL will absolutely follow it. Whether that means a dedicated flag division, an off-season international flag league, or a full-on pivot 30 years from now. Don't be shocked. Hell, what if players from other countries catch the eye of NFL owners or NFL scouts? Could we possibly see a player pipeline be established of more international players getting a shot in the NFL? Maybe. The bottom line, the game is changing, man. The question isn't if, it's how fast. Let's be real. This flag football Olympic thing, it's a test run. If this Olympic debut goes well, if the ratings are high, if it attracts a younger global audience, don't be surprised if the NFL starts pushing more flag style initiatives domestically. Think Pro Bowl rebrands, off-season leagues, youth partnerships, corporate tie-ins, even the possibility of a flag-based feeder system to the NFL down the line. Is it going to replace tackle? No, not immediately. But the seeds are being planted. And when money talks, tradition walks. But how I see it, let the flag football athletes cook, man. There's a difference between respect and recognition. Right now, what the NFL is doing doesn't feel like it respects the flag football scene. It feels like it wants to erase it, for the men at least. And now they're going to get bumped off the Olympic roster so NFL guys can moonwalk onto the team with a few practice reps and a Nike-sponsored handshake. It's a slap in the face, no matter how you spin it. And you heard it here first. My final thoughts, let's call it what it is, man. The NFL is stealing Olympic flag football from the men who built the sport. Guys who've been grinding in this space for years. Not for millions, not for headlines, not for IG highlight reels. The same game that's taken them across oceans, earned them world titles and put their countries on the map long before the NFL even blinked twice at a flag. And now that it's Olympic level, the NFL wants to slap its logo on it, send a few star players and act like they've been carrying this thing the whole time. Come on. So now I want to hear from the family. What are your thoughts? Do you think the NFL has earned the right to claim this moment as their own, letting their players become the face of Olympic flag football? Or should that right belong to the originators, the ones who laid the bricks, set the standard, and actually built this game from the ground up? In reality, we know every Olympic team has tryouts and qualifiers, so all football players between NFL and flag will have to compete for their spot. Let's just hope politics don't get in the way. As always, thank you all for watching this video to the end. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button for your mans one time and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. My name is Vinny, known by many, and this is Deep in the Field, where you know we keeps it real. And if y'all feeling my hoodie, I got a link in the description for y'all, so y'all go ahead and cop that. But otherwise, man, I'm gonna get at y'all real soon. Peace.